first, Paul Gunter is with us with BeyondNuclear.org. Paul is the Director of Reactor Oversight for Beyond Nuclear, BeyondNuclear.org, their website. Paul, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Tom.
Do you have the you follow this much more closely than I do? I mean, you do it for a living. What is the latest status on the 6 reactors at Daiichi?
Well, they are, they've got the first 3 reactors, which were loaded with fuel in the reactor vessel. They're restoring power to the control panels. But that doesn't mean that they have got power to the systems that operate the cooling. We've seen the lights come on now 11 days after this accident. That's pretty frightening just in and of itself, that it has taken that long to get the lights on.
Well, it's sort of like you can get the headlights on in your car, but that doesn't mean the starter motor is going to turn over, that the cylinders are going to catch.
And that only indicates what you're about to hit as well, particularly if you're moving at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
it's a very good analogy. For the 4 through 6 units, the only units that we can talk about being close to stable now are units 5 and 6. Unit 4 is all of the reactor fuel had been taken out of the vessel, out of containment, and had been placed in a rooftop storage pond. The reports have continued to indicate that they have lost water covering the fuel, fires, explosions. They've been focusing a lot of the firefighters there have been recovering the core with water, but we continue to see fires initiating. So, all these first 4 units are in various states of meltdown, and we've only now got the lights on. They're now basically getting an indicator of the condition of monitoring systems, and then they will have to make an assessment of actual pumps, motors, and valves to see if they can restore cooling.
We hear about spikes in radiation and this radiation and that radiation and whatnot. It seems like on the one hand, you need electricity to run a radiation monitor. On the other hand, logic would indicate that they'd all have battery backups. On the third hand, 11 days is a long time for a battery backup to last. Are the measurements of radiation that are being taken by the guys who are running the reactor at the reactor and that are being reported out, do they have any relationship to reality? And how does this connect with the problem of, if there's part of a reactor that's exposed, you've got gamma radiation shooting out of that thing as if it was sunlight. On the other hand, if you've got, dust particles being blown into the air, they're coming down basically like dust, but each one of those particles is emitting a whole range of things, from alpha particles to gamma rays. What's the status of the status reports, I guess,
Right. Well, you've got basically a skeleton crew of operators that have been trying to bring the reactors under control and then being evacuated because of high radiation fields. And they have to sort of preserve this crew because this is the actual reactor rescue operation. And
these are the people who have the intellectual property. These are the guys who know how to make it work.
The nuclear engineers.
Right. You can't just throw a fireman in there.
You can't. Yes, exactly. And then you've got this other crew of that ranges from the Tokyo Fire Department that's been arriving, and other Japanese defense forces that have been actually trying to control the fires and cover the reactors with water and keep that cooling operation going. These guys have been evacuated. They're getting, their doses are, and their health is certainly in jeopardy. And we've been hearing accounts that they've been hiding behind fire trucks to shield from some of these radiation shines that are coming, like X-rays.
Right.
And so, I mean, it remains touch and go, but I think that what is clearest now is the concern that that after 11 days now, we're now seeing the radiation levels rise dramatically.
What does that mean?
Well, we're now seeing right now the measurements for iodine 131 are about 20% of what we saw following the Chernobyl accident.
Wow.
So we don't have a Chernobyl accident style event at this point, but as long as the fires burn, the explosions occur, the gas emits, these radiation readings are going to go up, and we're concerned that we're heading towards that.
Doesn't this mean, Paul, that most of what iodine, for example, is one of the things that's emitted, that's released, as opposed to the shine, the beams coming out, and when that kind of stuff gets into the air, these are the fission results. This is uranium breaking in half or breaking into pieces, which is what produces the energy that drives the plant, that produces the heat. And when it breaks into pieces, those pieces are new elements, iodine, thorium, cesium, whatever. If that stuff is in the air, doesn't that mean that the nuclear waste, which has been stored at the top of each one of these reactors, that a lot of that nuclear waste has been blown into the air? Because that's different than just, a reactor blowing out X-rays or something.
Yes, and these are all indications that the hundreds of tons of nuclear waste, principally the irradiated fuel that's been put into these pools, and has been burning. We've seen the steam. We've seen smoke. This and all this inventory is outside of containment.
Right.
So it's now working its way into the weather, and then it's traveling. The iodine is particularly volatile. It's like radiation on roller skates. So it's moving ahead of these other.
Is that because it's a lighter particle, or a gas?
Yes, it's very volatile, and
in other words, very, very easily evaporated, or very air transported.
Yeah, transport. That's a transport quality.
Whereas cesium and some of the other thorium, those are heavier particles, and so they're harder to carry over long distances by the air. Okay,
right.
I got it.
And then, but going back to the Chernobyl gauge, we're now seeing scientific reports that the cesium-137 is then there are hot spots that are 20 to 60% of the Chernobyl value. So,
and cesium is the stuff that has a half-life of 30 years, and the body takes up as potassium, so it can cause cancer anywhere in the body.
Yes,